All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for joining all the way from Mumbai. And welcome.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga and Srila Prabhupada. This is Krishna Priya from New Jersey, Princeton, New Jersey. Hare Krishna. Dandvat Pranam.
Dandvat Pranam, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Krishna Priya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Guru Maharaj. Welcome, Mataji, and thank you for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hi Krishna, Amarendra Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Guru Maharaj, all glories to Srila Guru Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you for giving your precious time and being here with us. And very, very grateful to you. With your permission, shall I read Srila Prabhupada's quote for today and then hand over the call to you?
Please, Mataji. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so Srila Prabhupada says, I'm aware that you're feeling my absence just as I am feeling the absence from you. But in the meantime, this must be so. And Krishna will provide for you as long as you keep chanting Hare Krishna. And this was instructed by His Divine Grace in a letter to devotees on March 30, 1967. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji will be talking on Chaitanya Bhagavat-Antya Khanda, 8th chapter from texts 102 to 112. So we're eagerly waiting to hear from you, Prabhuji. Please take over. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Mataji. Hare Krishna, Kirtida Sundari Mataji. Hare Krishna, Priti Vilasni Mataji. My obeisances to all three of you and everyone on the call. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaye Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Before I begin, I want to offer my obeisances to everyone on the call. By your very kind prayers and blessings and best wishes, may the right words come at the right time, in the right mood of glorifying Sri Krishna, purifying our consciousness and pulling our heart's affectionate strings closer and closer to their eternal transcendental loving lotus feet. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So I've been asked to speak on Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat of Vyasadeva Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. This is the Antya Khanda, chapter 8, from text 102 to 112. Heno kale Ramakrishna Shri Yatra Govinda Jalakeli Kori Bare Aila Narendra. At that time, Balaram, Krishna and Govinda, the Vijay Vigraha, arrived at Narendra Sarovar for performing water sports. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. In the Skanda Puran, Utkal Khanda, chapter 29, it is stated, Vaishakhasya site pakshe tritiyakshaya samyika tatra mam lepayed gandha lepanair atishobhana. Smear fragrant sandalwood paste on my body on the day of Akshaya Tritiya during the waxing moon in the month of Vaishakh. Sri Purushottam Dev ordered his servant, the exalted Vaishnav Sri Indradyumna Dev, to smear fragrant sandalwood paste on his body on the day of Akshaya Tritiya during the waxing moon in the month of Vaishakh. Following this, even today, Lord Jagannath's Vijay Vigraha, Sri Madan Mohan, is brought on a palanquin from the temple to Sri Narendra Sarovar every day from Akshaya Tritiya in Vaishakh up to the 8th day of the waning moon in Jyeshtha. Sri Madan Mohan Dev enjoys these boat pastimes in the lake along with his ministers headed by Lokanath and Mahadev. Since the Chandan Yatra festival of Sri Madan Mohan is held in Sri Narendra Sarovar, The lake is also called the Chandan Pukur. The phrase Shri Yatra refers to Chandan Yatra. Haridwani Kola Mridanga Kalah Kahal Shankha Bheri Jaya Dhaka Bajaye Bishal. There was a tumultuous vibration of the chanting of the Lord's holy names, mixed with the sounds of mridangas, conch shells, kettle drums, and other large drums. Sahasra Sahasra Chhatra Pataka Chamar Chaturdhike Shobha Kare Parama Sundar. The scene was beautified with thousands of umbrellas, flags, and charmers on all sides. Mahajaya Jaya Shabda Mahaharidvani Iha Bhaye Arakono Shabda Nahi Shuni. No sound could be heard other than the loud chanting of Jai Jai and Hari Hari. Rama Krishna Shri Govinda Mahakutuhale Utarila Ashishabe Narendre Rakule. In this way, Balaram, Krishna, and Govinda, the Vijay Vigraha, were brought to the bank of Narendra Sarovar with great pomp. The word Narendra refers to Sri Narendra Sarovar. Jaganath Goshti Shri Chaitanya Goshti Shane Mishaila Taha Obo Leela Sankirtane. The associates of Lord Jagannath and the associates of Lord Chaitanya mixed together, and everyone forgot themselves in the ecstasy of Sankirtan. Dui Goshti Eka Hoy Ki Hoila Ananda Ki Vaikuntha Shukha Ashi Hoila Murti Manta. Such happiness was experienced when the two groups joined together that it seemed as if the happiness of Vaikuntha had appeared in person. Chaturdikhe lokera ananda antanai shabha kare na karayin Chaitanya Goshai. Lord Chaitanya personally enjoyed endless happiness and distributed that happiness to everyone in the four directions. Rama Krishna Shri Govinda Uthila Nokai Chaturdikhe Bhakta Gana Chamara Dhulai. Balaram, Krishna, and Govinda were then placed in a boat, while devotees on all sides fanned them with chamar. Rama Krishna Shri Govinda Naukai Bijay Dekhiya Santosha Shri Gauranga Mahashai. Lord Gauranga felt satisfied on seeing the boat festival of Balaram, Krishna, and Govinda. Prabhu o Shakala Bhakta Loi Kutuhale Jhampadiya Padileno Narendra Rajale. Then the Lord and his devotees all joyfully jumped into the waters of Narendra Sarovar. Manushe Rachite Nare Aishe Granta Dhanya Brindavana Dasamukhe Bhakta Shri Chaitanya. It is described that Sri Vyasadeva Brindavan Das Thakur is not a normal human being of this world. The same Bhagwan Vyas who gave Srimad Bhagavatam, the pastimes of Sri Krishna in this world, that same Vyasadeva has appeared as Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur to give the beautiful Srimad Chaitanya Bhagavat. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat has been glorified by Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in his Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit in multiple verses in numerous places, and he says that just like Krishna leela is very sweet when it comes from the lips of Sri Vyasadeva in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna leela Bhagavate kohe Veda Vyas Chaitanya Leelara Vyas Vrindavana Das. Just like Krishna leela is very sweet when it comes through the lips or through the pen of Sri Vyasadeva, coming down generation through Shukadev Goswami, similarly Sri Gaura leela, Sri Chaitanya leela is extremely sweet, especially when it comes from the lips of Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. So this book is extremely important for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had a rule in the Gaudiya Math that every disciple of his and every follower in the Gaudiya Math should read Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat many, many times. Many times. When we read Chaitanya Bhagavat and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit many times, then the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be etched in our heart, in our memory, and this is very important. Chaitanya Leela Ratnasar, e Swarupero Bhandar, Teho Thoila Raghunatera Kanthe, Taha Kichuje Shunilo, Taha Iha Bistarilo, Bhakta Gana Dila Ei Bhete. It has been described that Gaura Leela is like a treasure box. And who has the key to the treasure box? Swarup Damodar Goswami. So I'm getting multiple messages saying that the volume is low and it's hard to hear. Is that so for others as well? Is the volume too low?
It's perfect, Prabhu.
Okay, okay. So maybe devotees who find the volume to be low, you can kindly check the volume on your device. If you can adjust that, that will be very helpful. Thank you. So it is described Chaitanya leela Amritapur Krishna leela Sukarpur Dui mili hoye sumadhurya Dui mili hoye sumadhurya Sadhu Guru Prasade Tahaje Ashwade Seijane Madhurya Prachurya. It's so wonderful. In one example, Chaitanya Leela is compared to a treasure box. In another example, Chaitanya Leela is compared to sweet rice. We will cover both examples one after another. In the first example, it is described that Chaitanya Leela Ratnasar, Mahaprabhu's pastimes, is a treasure box. And this is locked up and the key is in the pocket of Swarup Damodar Goswami. Swarup Damodar Goswami is the personal servant and the personal assistant and the personal associate, eternal associate of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And he wrote the Swarup Damodar Karcha. Karcha means a diary, a personal notebook. He observed all the conversations, he observed all the pastimes of Sriman Mahaprabhu, and his name was Purushottam. Right from childhood, he was the associate of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He's from Navadvip, and later he took sannyas and he got the name Swarup Damodar, and he even moved to Jaganath Puri as the personal associate of Mahaprabhu. So Swarup Damodar Goswami, an incarnation of Lalita Sakhi, knows Radha and Krishna who have combined as Sriman Mahaprabhu. The most beautiful aspects of their personality and their leelas are known to Swarup Damodar Goswami. So Gaura leela is like a treasure box, and that key is in the pocket of Swarup Damodar Goswami, which means Swarup Damodar Goswami in his diary has written all the secrets of Gaura leela. And what did he do? He gave that key to Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami was put under the care and the protection and guidance of Swarup Damodar Goswami, because we know Sri Raghunath Das Goswami had come, he left his home and he came all the way to Jaganath Puri to associate with Sriman Mahaprabhu. And of all the 6 Goswamis, Raghunath Das Goswami Pad had maximum association, as much as 16 long years with Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Out of the 18 years that Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu lived in Jaganath Puri, Raghunath Das Goswami spent 16 long years. And he was put under the care and guidance, the personal guidance of Swarup Damodar Goswami. And this is also perfect with respect to the hierarchy in the spiritual world, where Radha and Krishna are served by the Sakhis, and we have the Manjaris, who are the maidservants of Radha and Krishna, who perform all services. Lalita Bishakhayadi Jata Shakhi Brinda Agyaye Koribo Sheva Charanaravinda. So under the Agya, under the guidance of the Sakhis, the Manjaris are the maidservants of Radha and Krishna, they are serving the divine couple. So Swarup Damodar Goswami is a Sakhi, while Raghunath Das Goswami is a Manjari. So it's perfect and befitting that that hierarchy is followed even in this world, where Sri Raghunath Das Goswami is perfectly protected and guided and advised under the auspices of Sri Lalita Sakhi in the form of Swarup Damodar Goswami. Now Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, when he came to Radha Kund, he spoke Gaura leela profusely. What he heard and what he observed in Jaganath Puri, that he spoke at Radha Kund. And in his assembly was the very exalted Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's notes of the Katha of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami is the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which spans 11,500 shlokas, is the expanded version of the notes that Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami took in the classes of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami got it from Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami, and Swarup Damodar Goswami personally heard and experienced from Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So this is the beauty of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, where the comparison of Gaura leela is with a treasure box. There's another beautiful comparison where it says that Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu's pastimes are like sweet rice, and Krishna's pastimes are like camphor, like the flavoring. And when you mix them together, when there is Gaura leela and there is Krishna leela, our Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj used to say that Gaura leela is Krishna leela and Krishna leela is Gaura leela. There is no difference. Although we see that Gaura leela took place 500 years ago, and Krishna leela took place 5,000 years ago, and we see Gaura leela took place in Navadvip, and Krishna leela took place in Vrindavan. So as far as time and as far as place is concerned, they seem to be completely different. How can there be continuity? How can you say that Gaura leela is Krishna leela when the place of the two leelas are different and the time of the two leelas are different? Mahaprabhu came in Kali Yuga and Krishna came in Dwapar Yuga. Mahaprabhu appeared in Navadvip and went to Jaganath Puri through South India, and Krishna went 5,000 years ago from Mathura to Vrindavan, and then from Vrindavan to Mathura, and then from Mathura to Dwaraka, and then to Kurukshetra. The place and the timeline don't match. Then how do we say that it is the same Leela? Because Krishna Leela completed 5,000 years ago with an incomplete desire. Krishna performed his pastimes, and at the end of his Leela, it is described that Bhaktero je prem dasha ki gati prakar jata dukha jata sukha jate ka vikar Krishna taha samyak na pare janite bhakta bhav angikar taha aswadite. Krishna, at the end of his whole pastime for 125 years in this material world, when Krishna went back to the spiritual world, Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains that Krishna had this desire in his heart that my devotees are so sweet and they have so many different levels. Some are in Sakhya Bhakti, some are in Vatsalya Bhakti, some are in Madhurya Bhakti, some are in Dasya Bhakti. Like if you see Hanumanji, he knows about Vrindavan. Hanumanji knows about gopis. Hanumanji knows about spontaneous love in Braj. But he doesn't want it because he's so satisfied in his Dasya Bhakti at the lotus feet of Raghunath. Jo Chetan ko jad kare hi Chaitanya, asa samartha Raghunayak hi bhajatahi jivate dhanya. Sri Goswami ji has said that Sri Ram is so self-sufficient. He is so wonderful as a master that he has the power to make those who are living or animate into inanimate. Anyone who sees Sri Ramachandra, they become so stunned as the sages in Dandakaranya that they are stunned to be stones forever. They are looking at Sri Ram like painted pictures with unblinking eyes. And at the same time, Sri Ram has the power that when he steps his lotus feet on stones, stones melt and Ahalya manifests. So inanimate can become animate and animate can become inanimate. And asa samartha raghunayak hi bhajatahi jivate dhanya. And those who worship the lotus feet of Sri Ramachandra, they are eternally glorious. Hanuman has this abhiman. Asa abhiman jani jana bhore, मैं सेवक रघुपति पति मोरे. He has this abhiman. Dasoham kosalendrasya ramasya aklishta karmanaha. Even when Ravana caught Hanuman in Lanka and asked, who are you, Hanuman, in Sri Valmiki Ramayana, he says, Dasoham kosalendrasya. I am the servant of that Ram. Ramasya aklishta karmanaha. That Ram whose valor, whose spirit is unfailing. He whose spirit is untiring. I am the servant of that Ram. Even Sri Goswami Tulsidas ji writes, when Hanumanji met Sita Devi at Ashok Vatika, and Sita Devi was startled, who is this person in disguise? Once bitten, twice shy. In Hindi they say, Doodh ka jala chhach bhi phuk phuk kar pita hai. If someone is burnt by an experience, then he will become very skeptical the next time a certain experience comes in. So Sita Devi, once already bewildered by the illusory golden deer experience and also the illusory sadhu who turned out to be Ravana, Sita Devi, next time she sees Hanuman at Ashok Vatika, she's convinced that this is some demon. So when she asks Hanuman, who are you? Sri Tulsidas ji writes, राम दूत मैं मात जानकी, सत्य शपथ करुणा निधान की. Oh dear Janaki Devi, oh dear mother, I promise at the lotus feet of Sri Ram that I am nothing, I am no one but the servant of Raghunath. So Hanuman has this abhiman that I am the servant of Sri Ram. Although it is described, Atulita Baladhamam, Hema Shailavadeham, Dhanujavana Krishanum, Jnaninam Agraganyam, Sakala Guna Nidanam, Vanaranam Adhisham, Raghupati Priya Bhaktam, Vatajatam Namami. He has been described with so many adjectives that he is Atulita Baladhamam, he is the most strongest. And Hema Shailavadeham, he is the golden mountain of strength. And Dhanuja Vanakrishanum, he is the forest fire where the Rakshasas are like snakes burning alive. Jnaninam Agraganyam, he is the most intelligent. And Sakala Guna Nidhanam, he is the repository, the abode of all transcendental qualities. And Vanarana Madhisham, he is the king among monkeys. And Raghupati Priya Bhaktam, he is the dearest devotees of Sri Ram, and he is the son of the wind god, Vata Jatam Namami. Although Hanuman has so many wonderful adjectives, he doesn't identify with any of them. He doesn't even identify himself as the son of the wind god. He identifies himself, Dasoham Kosalendrasya, or Dasoham Raghavendrasya. I am the devotee of Sri Ramachandra. I have no other identity. So Krishna is thinking, different devotees in different moods. And you see in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, beautiful hierarchical ladder that Sri Sanatana Goswami gives. He puts so many devotees there in the conversation of Narada Muni's quest for the best devotee. Narada Muni goes from one devotee to another. And it's amazing that Narada Muni goes to his own disciple, Prahlad Maharaj. And he says, you are the best devotee in the whole creation. And Prahlad Maharaj says, oh dear Gurudev, I don't have any devotion. Devotion means seva. Bhaj dhatu in Sanskrit means sevayam, to serve. So from bhaj dhatu you get the word bhakta, and tap pratyay makes it bhakta, tip pratyay makes it bhakti, etc. from bhaj dhatu. So which means a bhakta is he who serves. And Prahlad Maharaj said, my Lord appeared before me and I didn't serve him. I didn't offer a garland. He put my father's intestines as garland, Nishingadeva. And I didn't give him any water. He drank blood. And I didn't give him any seat. He sat on the royal throne of my father. What kind of a servant am I? Better devotee, in my opinion, is Sri Hanuman. Because I was burning in the fire. And I was chanting the holy name to protect myself from the fire. But when Hanuman was burning in the fire, instead of protecting himself, he used that burning tail to serve Sri Ram and set Lanka on fire. Every devotee offers arati to the Lord with wicks and with lamps. And Hanumanji Maharaj was offering arati with his burning tail. He set Lanka on fire. So in the hierarchy of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, we see so many wonderful devotees. We see Prahlad Maharaj, we see Lord Shiva, we see Brahmaji, we see Indra, we see Hanuman, and we see the Pandavas, and we see Uddhava, and finally culminating in the gopis and Sri Radharani. So when Krishna performed his pastimes, and he concluded his pastimes, Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he writes that Bhaktero je prem dasha ki goti prakar. Krishna is thinking, I have so many devotees, and in different dhams, some in Nitya Saket Dham or Ayodhya Dham, in Nitya Vaikuntha Dham, in Nitya Dwaraka, Nitya Mathura, Sri Goloka Vrindavan. So many devotees in different moods. And when they worship me, Krishna is thinking, they weep. Ha Krishna, ha Govinda, Govinda Damodar Madhaveti, Govinda Damodar Madhaveti, Govinda Damodar Madhaveti, Govinda Damodar Madhaveti. They weep and cry. And Rama Bhaktas are crying, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Vishnu Bhaktas are weeping, chanting Purusha Sukta and Sri Sukta. My dear Lord, you are so majestic. Shri Venkatachalapate Tava Suprabhatam. They are waking up the Lord with so much reverence and so much love. So bhaktero je prem dasha ki gati prakar. Krishna is thinking, all the devotees have different love. They have different experiences. Some are smiling looking at me. Some are weeping looking at me. And both are having love. Some are smiling. Venkatramana, Sankataharana, Govinda, Govinda. When they are standing in the line to Tirupati, after so many hours when they look at Venkateshwara, they are smiling in joy. And some are weeping. Oh, Krishna is looking so beautiful. And jata dukha, jata shukha, jateka vikar. And Krishna is thinking, some devotees, they are feeling separation from me when they are chanting Harinam. They are weeping and offering prayers. And when they feel separation, they remember me so intensely that now they feel meeting with me. And now they are smiling. They are feeling so much joy in that separation. Srimati Radharani mentions this, and this has been immortalized by Sri Rupa Goswami in his Padyavali, that when I am separated from Sri Krishna, I can see Krishna coming through all directions. When I am meeting with Krishna, I see one Krishna. But when I am in separation from Krishna, I can see Krishna coming from all directions in so many Krishnas. So the separation from Krishna gives me pain. But in that separation, I see Krishna from all directions. And that gives me so much joy. So devotees are quite mystical. So mystical that Krishna gets confused. Krishna gets bamboozled, as they say. He's thinking that, are the devotees happy or are the devotees sad? And in that happiness of meeting with me, you see, devotees are seeing the deity of the Lord, or they're chanting the holy name, and they're so happy and so grateful. Krishna, thank you for giving me this life where I am remembering you. It is described in the Vishnu Puran, and Srila Prabhupada quotes this in the purport in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is described in Vishnu Puran that tan muhurtam kshanam vapi vasudevam na chintayet. That part, that 48 minutes, that second, when there is no remembrance of the Lord, that is sahani stad mahachidram. That is the greatest fault. That is the greatest loss. That is the greatest fall down. That is the greatest misfortune. Even if it is for a muhurta, even if it is for a kshana, when Vasudevam na chintayet, when we don't remember the Lord, that is the greatest loss. So devotees, when they are chanting, when they are worshipping the deity, when they are reading Bhagavatam, they feel so much joy. Krishna, thank you for giving me this life where I can remember you. But that very moment they feel, Krishna, what if next life I don't have this fortune? What if I am not able to perfect my life in this birth? And then there is pain. There is suffering. That Krishna, so many years have passed in bhakti, but I don't think I have made the advancement that I should be making. So in the joy of practicing bhakti, they find the distress of not being able to reach their goal. And at the same time, in separation from Krishna, they find so much distress. Krishna, when will I find you in my life? When will that day come? Krishna, kaha mora prananath? When can I find you? Ko nanda kula chandrama, ko shiki chandra kalankriti, ko mandra muralirava, ko anu surendra neela dyuti, ko rasarasa tandavi, ko sakhi jiva rakshaushadhi, nidhir mama surittama, ko batahantaha dhikvidhi. Srimad Mahaprabhu taught to feel separation. Where is my Krishna? Where is the moon in the dynasty of Nanda Maharaj? Where is that Krishna who wears a beautiful peacock feather on his head? Where is that Krishna who plays his flute so sweetly? Where is that Krishna who is in the complexion of a blue sapphire touchstone? Where is that Krishna who is the hero of the Rasa Leela? Oh dear Sakhi, where is that Krishna who is the medicine for the dying soul? Why is Brahma, the creator of this world, doing this to me? Why is he forcibly separating me from Krishna? Srimad Mahaprabhu felt so much separation. But in that separation, he sees Krishna playing the flute for him. He can smell the fragrance of the aroma of Krishna's body. Same madana mohana sakhi tanoti nasa spriham. He feels, oh Sakhi, the smell of Krishna's body increases the desire of my nose. I want to have many more nose in my body. And the vision of Krishna's form increases the desire of my eyes. I want many more eyes in my body. The sound of Krishna's flute increases the thirst and the hunger of my ears. I want many more ears in my body. In this way, in separation, there is suffering, and in that suffering, there is more experience of Krishna, and there is so much more joy. So Krishna is confused. What is happening in the heart of the devotee? Is he happy or is he sad? In the sadness, is he happy? In the happiness, is he sad? What is happening? And then there is hair standing on end. There's voice choking, and there are tears dripping from the eyes of the devotee. And there's discoloration in the body. And sometimes the devotee is fainting. And sometimes devotees dancing, and sometimes devotees crying, and sometimes devotees laughing. Not in our state, but evam vrata swapriya nama kirtya jatanurago dritachitta uchchaihi hasatyato raudati roti gayatyunmadhyavat nrityati lokabahya. In the 11th canto of Bhagavatam, which is described, a pure Vaishnava is singing and dancing and jumping and sometimes crying and shouting in separation from Krishna, like Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And this is making Krishna so confused. Krishna is thinking, ki gati prakar jato dukho jato shukho jateka bikar Krishna taha samyak na pare janite. Krishna on the altar, he's playing the flute, but he's thinking, oh, this devotee's heart is so wonderful. I wish I could become a devotee and experience what the devotee is feeling for me. I wish I could not be on the altar, but I wish I could be in the courtyard, dancing and singing like this devotee for me on the altar. Krishna wants to be on the altar, seeing the devotee who is him, expressing love for the Krishna on the altar. It's quite amazing. Krishna does not want to give up the altar, because only when you're on the altar you can see what is happening. And at the same time, he wants to be the devotee experiencing what the devotee is experiencing for the Lord who's on the altar. So devotees are singing with kartal, they're dancing, they're cooking, they're stringing garlands, they're offering it to Krishna. So Krishna wants to accept the garland and feel the love of the devotee, at the same time become the devotee and string the garland for Krishna on the altar. Krishna wants to do both. And Krishna taha samyak na pare janite bhakta bhav angikar taha aswadite. Now to become a devotee, Krishna went through a whole list. Okay, what devotee should I become? Which devotee should I become? If I go through the Brihad Bhagavatamrit hierarchy, then if I become Indra, Indra will say, don't become me, please become Brahmaji. And if I become Brahmaji, Brahmaji will say, don't become me, please become Lord Shiva, because he's a better devotee than me. And if I become Lord Shiva will say, no, you become Prahlad, because Prahlad is a better devotee than me. And if I become Prahlad, Prahlad will say, no, you become Hanuman. Hanuman is a better devotee than me. And if I become Hanuman, Hanuman will say, what kind of a devotee am I? At the end of the whole Ram leela, all the monkeys went back home, back to Godhead, but Ram made me a Chiranjeevi and kept me in this world. So if I'm a devotee, then the Lord should stay with me. What kind of a devotee am I? The Lord doesn't want to take me back home, back to Godhead. So if Krishna wants to become Hanuman, Hanuman will say, don't become me, my dear Lord. Instead, you become Yudhishthir Maharaj. Yudhishthir Maharaj's love is better than mine, because Krishna spends so much time with the Pandavas. He always stayed with the Pandavas. Little Akshay Patra leela, and Krishna is coming. And some Draupadi Vastraharan, Krishna is coming. Any pastime in the forest, Krishna is coming. Krishna is always there with the Pandavas. So then Krishna wants to be a devotee, so Hanumanji will say, you become Yudhishthir Maharaj. Then Yudhishthir Maharaj will say, no, my dear Lord, don't become me. Because if anybody listens to my story, they will not become Krishna Bhakta. Hakinchani kritya padashritam ya karoti bhikshum patigeha hinam kenapyaho bhishana chaura idrik. Sri Bilvamangal Thakur, Leela Shuk, he has written that the life of the devotee is quite astonishing. The more he surrenders to Krishna, Krishna steals more from him. If somebody is not giving anything to Krishna, Krishna is not stealing anything from him. Somebody doesn't come to the temple, Krishna will not take anything from him. Somebody starts coming to the temple, now Krishna will steal more from that person. You give $21 in the account, in the hundi as an offering. Next time you come, there'll be announcements. Anybody who wants to sponsor a Sunday feast program, and the person will feel inspired, and now he will offer $51 or $108. Then next time he starts coming, some devotee will say, this is the mala, if you start chanting only 7 minutes a day, your life will change. And then that one mala becomes 2 malas, and 2 malas become 4 malas, and 4 to 8, and 8 to 12, and 12 to 16, and in no time you have put tilak and you have put kanti mala, your dress has changed, your lifestyle has changed, and Krishna steals more from those who are offering more to him. Such a great thief. In this world, those who are not ready to be plundered, they get plundered by the thief. And somebody who's vigilant and is guarding his home, the thief will not come. The thief will not come. But in this world of devotion, the more you welcome the thief, the more shameless the thief becomes. He enters and he takes everything away. Like from Bali Maharaj, he took all the possession and he took Bali Maharaj also. Have you ever seen a thief who steals the home and also takes the owner of the home and makes him into a thief, a preacher, and says, now I empower you, now you go and steal in other homes. Such a great thief. Dhanam jamanam cha tathendriyani pranan charitva mama sarvameva kenapyaho bhishana chaura idrik dishta shrutova na jagatrayepi. The whole world has never seen a thief like Sri Krishna. Braje prasedham navanita choram gopangananam chadukula choram aneka janmarjita papa choram chauragraganyam purusham namami. This Krishna is amazing. Therefore, smera bhangi traya parichita sachi vistirna drishti vamshi nyasta adhara kisalayam ujvalam chandrakena govindakhyam haritanumih keshitirthopakanthe ma prekshishthastava yadi sakhe bandhu sange stirangaha. Sri Rupa Goswami Pad has said, don't come close to this thief. In sarcasm. Inke paas mat aana. Don't listen to his name. And then he describes him so beautifully that you feel like going and seeing him. He says, this personality, this thief has 3 folds. Generally, if you see thieves, they have faults, they have chidra, they have bhanga in their character, in their thoughts, and in their words. The thieves, if you see, they are also bent in 3 places. In their tongue, they speak very crooked. The thieves, they think very crooked and they act very crooked. So he says, this thief is also like that. He has 3 folds in his body. He has a bent on his feet. He has a beautiful bent on his hips. Anybody who wants to know how beautiful the bent of Krishna on his hips are, you can come and have darshan of Radha Gopinath in Mumbai. You can see how big his flute is, and you can see how beautiful his smile is, and you can see how beautiful his hips are bent. So, smera bhangi, traya parichita sachi vistirna drishti. And this thief, he looks from end to end. He doesn't look straight. Our Jaganath looks straight. Jaganath is very straightforward. Jagabandhu he goshai, tumar charana binu aragati nai. Our Jaganath is very straightforward. His hands are out to embrace the jivas, and eyes are wide. Unblinking eyes, he wants to look at all the jivas. But Gopinath is not like that. Our Govinda Dev is not like that. Our Madan Mohan is not like that. He will not look straight. He is looking from end to end. His eyebrows are moving. His eyes are moving. He has beautiful gestures on his face. His fingers are dancing on the holes of the flute. His feet are dancing. His ankle bells are tinkling. His waist bells are tinkling. Oh, such a great thief. So his eyes are thief. He marks his target just by the corner of his eyes. Just by the movement of his eyebrows, he can mark his target. Such a great dancer, Natavara Vapuhu. His whole body is dancing. His earrings are dancing. The flowers on his ear are dancing by the breeze of Vrindavan. His garland is dancing. And because of his quick breathing, his chest is dancing. His necklaces are dancing. His fingers are dancing. His whole body is dancing. His cloth is also moving by the breeze of Braj. So smera bhangi traya parichita sache vistirna drishti vamshi nyasta adara kishalayam ujvalan chandrakena on the banks of the Jamuna, on the full moon night of Sharad Purnima, under the beautiful shade of the Kadamba. Krishna is playing the Panchamswar, the fifth note, kissing his flute with his beautiful bimba fruit-like crimson red lips. Govindakyam Haritanummiha Keshi Tirthopakanthe. He stands there at Keshi Ghat on the banks of the Jamuna, and his name is Govinda, and every aspect of his body is Hari, is a thief. And after describing so beautifully, Rupa Goswami says, please don't go and see him. Nay, please don't go. Please don't go and see. So similarly, you can see Yudhishthir Maharaj is also speaking in sarcasm, that anybody who hears my story of Krishna Bhakti, they will give up Krishna Bhakti. Seeing how much pain is there in Krishna Bhakti, they will never become a Pandava. They will never become a Krishna Bhakta. So my dear Lord, don't become a Yudhishthir. If you want to become a devotee, become Uddhava. Uddhava is the greatest devotee. Krishna says in the Bhagavatam that I am not even one atomic particle less or more than Uddhav. Uddhav is that dear to me. He is exactly like me. Not one particle less, not one particle. Anu api, Bhagavatam says. Not one atomic particle less or more. And nobody is as dear to me as Uddhav. Neither is Lakshmi Devi, nor is Balaram. Not even my own self is as dear to me as Uddhav. So Krishna, you should become Uddhav, would perhaps be the sales pitch of Yudhishthira Maharaj. And then Uddhav will say, my dear Lord, don't become me. Asamaho charanarena jishamaham syam brindavane kimapi gulmalat aushadhinam. If you want to become a devotee, please become the gopis of Vrindavan. Please become Tadbhuri Bhagyamiha Janma Kimapyatavyam Yad Gokulepi Katamangri Rajovishekam Yad Jivitam tu Nikhilam Bhagavan Mukunda Adhyapi Yad Padaraja Shruti Mrigyameva. If you want to become a devotee, become the gopis. I, Uddhav, the disciple of Brihaspati, aspire the foot dust of the lotus feet of the gopis of Vrindavan. They are so great, my dear Lord. You please become the gopis. Oh Krishna, if you want to become a devotee, you become gopi. Eta param tanu bhruto bhuvi gopavadvo Govinda eva nikhilatmani ruda bhava Vanchanti yad bhava bhiyo munayo vayamcha Kim brahma janma bhirananta katharasasya Vande nanda vrajastrinam Padarenum abhikshnashaha Yasam harikathodgitam Punati bhuvanatrayam. My dear Lord, the glory of the gopis is so high that the three worlds are getting purified by remembering the Braja Gopis. Braja Sundarinam, the Braja Sundaris, they are so exalted. They are the best devotees. Ramya Kajidupasana Brajabadum Vargenaya Kalpita. There is no devotee in past, present or future in any dham who has left their home against all calamity in a feminine body, against social norms, against family restrictions, against even scriptural dharmic restrictions, and run to attain the service of Sri Krishna in the middle of the night, running to the forest. This is mystical, this is magical. Sri Rupa Goswami Pad has described that the level of anurag or love is that stage where happiness becomes distress and distress becomes happiness. Everything becomes topsy-turvy. That level of love where happiness becomes distress and distress becomes happiness. For example, a chaste woman, for her happiness is her home. And if you tell her to live in the forest, it is painful. If you tell her to give up your family and be all alone in the forest in the middle of the night, for a pativrata or a sativrata stri, chaste woman, it is painful. And her home is her comfort zone. But the level of the gopis is such that the comfort of the home has become distress. And the distress of the forest has become great happiness. That they are not thinking whether or not to go. They are pati sutanvaya bhratr bandhava. They have given up everything. So much so that God himself is folding his palms and saying, Na padi eham nirabhajya samyujam swasadhu krityam vibudayusha pivah yama bhajan durjarageha shrinkhalam samvrishya tadvah pratiyatu sadhunaham. There is nothing in my treasure box that I can give to reciprocate with your love. So this is the level of the gopis. This is the level of Mahabhav. They are the greatest devotees. So, O Krishna, Uddhav perhaps would say, you please become the gopis. And when Krishna comes to the gopis and say, I want to become a devotee, the gopis perhaps would say that if you really want to become a devotee, please become Vrishabhanu Nandini Sri Radharani. She is the greatest devotee. Na bhuto na bhavishyati. Radha Purna Shakti Krishna Purna Shaktiman. Dui vastu bhed nahi shastrera praman. Ladinera sar prem prem sara bhav. Bhavera parama kashta nama mahabhav. Mahabhava swarupa Shri Radha Thakurani. Sarva guna khani Krishna Kanta Shiromani. Devi Krishna Mai Prokta Radhika Paradevata. Sarva Lakshmi Mai Sarva Kanti Sammohini Para. O Shri Sham Sundar. हे श्री राधारमण लाल, हे श्री त्रिभंग ललित मोर मुकुटधारी, हे रसिक शिरोमणि. If you really want to become a devotee, then you become Sri Radharani. You become Vrindavan Vinodini, Vrindavan Vilasini, Vrindavan Biharini, Govinda Vimohini, Ashtasaki Shiromani. You become Kirtida Kumari, Vrishabhanu Nandini, Sri Radharani. Sri Radharani ki jai. So now Krishna's come down to boiled down to the final stage. Yes, I have now analyzed and I have decided I will become Sri Radharani. Hey Sri Radharani, you please bless me. Because bhaktistu bhagavat bhakta sangena parijayate. You can attain somebody's bhav only by their blessings. For example, when we hear Hari Katha from someone, then it is their bhav which comes as blessings in the form of their words. Therefore, internet and recording and broadcast and devices, they're all wonderful because they help us catch up with Harikatha, but it's not a substitute for hearing in person. Because in person, what happens is, it's not just information, it's transformation. The bhav, the mood, the consciousness gets injected in the heart of the listener. Therefore, it is always best Vasudeva Katha Prashna Purusham Trim Punatihi Vaktaram Prachakam Shrotram Yatpadam Salilam Yatha. It is wonderful to sit in association of devotees and hear Hari Katha and also ask questions and fill our heart injected with Krishna Bhakti. So Sri Radharani, please speak Hari Katha. Please tell me your glories. Please tell me the glory of your love. I want to become you. I want your bhav. And bhav is not attained unless you hear Hari Katha from someone. You please tell me, what is your devotion? How deep is your love? Second, please tell me, what attributes in me attract your heart? And three, please tell me, how much joy you feel when I reciprocate with you? One, please tell me the length, breadth, depth and height of your love. Second, please tell me the aspects and the speciality of my personality which attracts your mood. And three, please tell me when I reciprocate, how much love and how much satisfaction do you feel? Now the nature of love is such. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in a very beautiful work of his, he writes that whenever Sri Radharani is approached, Sri Radharani doesn't speak about herself. She never speaks about herself. She always says, I have no love for Krishna. She folds her palms and she says, love? Oh, premera swabhav je premera sambandha, sei mane Krishna mor nahi prema gandha. What to speak of love? I don't even have the scent. I don't even have the fragrance. I don't even have the aroma of love. What to speak of describing the mango? I have never seen the mango. I have never tasted the mango. जैसे गूंगे को गुड़ स्वाद. It is described even in Narada Bhakti Sutra that anirvachaniyam prema swarupam. That love for Krishna is such that it cannot be described. Just like if there's an insect which eats and lives off neem leaves, And if you go to that insect which has been eating neem leaves all its life, and if you have to explain how sweet mango juice is to that insect, it's impossible. First of all, mango juice, when it is tasted, we can't explain. What can you say? Will we say it is sweet? Will we say meetha? What is these two syllables, me and tha? It doesn't do justice to the taste. And especially explaining that taste to someone who's lived all his life eating neem leaves, it is impossible. Not possible. Therefore, for us conditioned souls to understand love, we have been eating neem leaves of lusty impulses lifetime after lifetime. Hum kya jane what this prema pumartho mahan is, what this mango fruit of Krishna prema is, we cannot understand. And those who are tasting, they cannot explain. Those who are speaking, like me, have no experience of this love. If we give presentation, 1 hour presentation on mango, neither the speaker nor the listener has any experience of mango. You're simply saying that it is a fruit, it is the king of all fruits, it has a peel, it has a seed, it is yellow, it is very sweet, it has a pulp, you can make juice out of it, you can make amras out of it, you can do this, you can do that, you can make mango pickle out of it. You can explain all of that. But still neither the listener nor the speaker has any experience. So therefore, the purest Vaishnavas who have taste, the more they taste, the more they feel, I have no taste. And even if they have taste, they feel, how can I explain it? And even if they try to explain, how can the listeners understand? Therefore, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives an example in his book. He says that Sri Radharani never speaks about herself and her love for Krishna, because love is it's always like a little lamp. Love for Krishna is like a lamp, a nice lamp flame, candle flame, lamp flame. And if you see, if you have a nice lamp with a beautiful shape, nice beautiful flame shape, and if you open up windows, then what happens? The breeze comes in, you see the flame is gone. But if you shut all the windows, then you can see that the flame, the lamp flame, is burning bright. And when you go outside the window and you see from the window, then you can see that the lamp is shining brightly. But as soon as you open the window, if of course the window, if it's glass and it's transparent, then you can see inside and you can see the flame burning very beautifully. But if you open the window and the breeze comes in, then the flame is gone. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives this example to say that love burns like a flame in the heart. And that can be seen through the transparent glass medium of the eyes and the face. The person, how lit up the person is, how enthusiastic the person is, and how devoted the person is. Through the eyes and through the face, which is like the transparent glass, you can see that the flame of bhakti or love for Krishna is burning in the room of the heart. But now, as soon as the window is open, the mouth is open, and you start describing it, what happens then? The wind of pride comes in and the flame is gone. So the more you speak, I saw Krishna in my dream, oh, I have so much love, I have so much bhakti, I cannot express. If the more we speak like this, then the flame is gone. We have only some soot and some smoke and some ashes in the heart. But those who actually have the flame in the heart, you see that flame is burning through the face, the transparent, the via medium of the eyes and the face. And the more the mouth window opens to explain it, the wind blows that candle flame out. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says Sri Radharani is extremely cautious. She doesn't speak about this. First of all, in her humility, phalanti or namanti phalino vrikshaha, namanti gunino janaha, shushka kashthascha murkhascha, na namanti kadachana. You see that the tree which is full of fruits is always bending by the weight of those fruits. So Sri Radharani is a kalpa vriksha tree. She's full of the fruits of bhakti. From sneha, man, pranay, rag, anurag, bhav, mahabhav, all the aspects of prem are seen in this beautiful tree called Vrishabhanu Nandini. So there are so many fruits. There are so many juicy, beautiful, tasty, ripened, nectarian, ambrosial fruits of love in the transcendental, wish-fulfilling tree of Sri Radharani's personality. And therefore, more the fruits, by the weight of the fruits, the tree bends in humility. So Sri Radharani cannot speak. And unless she speaks Hari Katha about Krishna and her love for Krishna, Krishna, who is the listener, cannot take it. Because love can be taken only through Hari Katha from the great Vaishnav. So now, what should be done? What can be done? How can you take something from someone when that person is so humble and says, I don't have it? So now Krishna has to do something else. Because Radharani is the only devotee he wants to become to experience devotion. And therefore, there's a transcendental plan that is made. Radharani appears in this world as Gadadhar Pandit. And Krishna appears in this world as Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And now both of them meet at Tota Gopinath in Jaganath Puri. And now it is not Radharani meeting Krishna. It is Nimai Vishwambar Mishra, a Brahman sannyasi at Jaganath Puri, meeting one Panditji called Gadadhar Panditji, who is the pujari of the Gopinath. Remember the Gopinath we spoke about? The pujari of that Gopinath, Tota Gopinath, is one Panditji called Gadadhar Panditji. So one Brahman sannyasi called Sri Krishna Chaitanya sannyasi is meeting one Panditji called Gadadhar Panditji. And both of them are meeting at the temple. And the sannyasi ji is asking Panditji, can you speak about Radha and Krishna? And now Gadadhar Pandit, as the devotee of Radha and Krishna, who is Radharani, but covered by the veil of Yoga Maya, is now lovingly speaking about Radharani's love for Krishna. If as Radharani, Radharani would not speak. But Radharani comes as Gadadhar Pandit, and Gadadhar Pandit is happily speaking about Radharani's love for Krishna, and Krishna as Sriman Mahaprabhu is listening and gaining so much love. Now this is interesting. Mahaprabhu did so much bhajan in his life. He was born in Navadvip, he took bath in the Ganga, he was born to Jagannath Mishra, he associated with Advaita Acharya Prabhu, Srivas Thakur, Haridas Thakur, such great Vaishnavas. He did Kirtan, he was initiated by Ishvara Puri, he chanted the Gopal Mantra, he did Nam Sankirtan all day and night. Then he took sannyas, he did Tirtha Yatra, then he came to Jaganath Puri, he had darshan of Jagannath. He did so much. And the conclusion, the culmination was hearing Hari Katha from Gadadhar Pandit. So Krishna did so much austerity as Mahaprabhu, and then finally through the lips of Sri Radharani as Gadadhar Pandit, Mahaprabhu as Sri Krishna was filling his heart with Radha Bhava, the love of Sri Radharani. And now Mahaprabhu's complexion was covered by Sri Radharani's complexion, and heart was also filled with the love of Sri Radharani. You see, when you play a certain role, a certain drama, you need two things. You need the script and you need the costume. When you have to play a certain drama, you have to have the script and you have to have the costume. And not any costume. It has to be full body rehearsal, full body costume. So Krishna, when he wanted to become Sri Radharani, he was filled with the script by Gadadhar Pandit. By speaking, Gadadhar Pandit spoke Radharani's love for Krishna, and that was filling Krishna's heart with the script of how it feels to be Radharani. And at the same time covered by the complexion of Sri Radha, this was a full body rehearsal. In the stage of Jaganath Puri, on the beautiful Natya Manch, the beautiful Rang Manch, the beautiful dramatic stage of Jaganath Puri, now it was Krishna filling his heart with the script of Radharani's love, fed by Gadadhar Pandit Goswami, and the complexion of Sri Radharani, which is the costume. So now Krishna has the script and he has the costume. And now he was practicing that in Gambhira with Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai. And if you see, Gadadhar Pandit was not there. Gadadhar Pandit as Sri Radharani was not there in the Gambhira. Because when the director of the play directs the play, he directs it from behind the curtain. He doesn't get on the stage and direct the play. So Gadadhar Pandit is the director as Sri Radharani, telling the actor Krishna, how to tell his dialogues and how to feel the love of Radharani on the stage of Gambhira, where Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai are um, the, the co-players of the drama. And Gadadhar Pandit, being the dramatic director, from behind the screen, from behind the curtain, is directing the whole thing. So he's not on the stage acting the whole leela out. In this way, 48 years of Gauranga Mahaprabhu's depiction of pastime. As Krishna left, he performed his leela 5,000 years ago, went back to Goloka Vrindavan and came back. And by then, 4,500 years have passed on earth. So Krishna leela continued as Gaura leela. There was no time lapse. And with time and with space, Krishna combined it together, and Krishna leela, which went on for 125 years, had this unfulfilled desire that I wish I can become a devotee. I wish I can know the heart of Sri Radharani. I wish I can know the beauty of Krishna. I wish I can realize the experience of devotion and the reciprocation of Krishna. Tad bhavadhya shamajani shachi garbhasindho harinduhu. Fulfilling these three unfulfilled desires, it was amazing. Krishna Chandra became Gaura Chandra. Nandanandan became Shachinandan. The dark complexion Lord came as the fair complexion Mahaprabhu. And the same Braj Leela continued in Gaur Leela without any gap. So in this way, Gaura Leela is extremely sweet. Gaura Leela is the treasure box. Gaura Leela is the sweet rice. Remember? And Krishna Leela is the camphor. When you make sweet rice and you flavor it with camphor, the sweetness becomes even more sweeter. Sadhu Guru Prasade Taha Jai Aswade Sei Jane Madhurya Prachurya. So it is so amazing, dear devotees, that Gaura Leela is the sweet rice, Krishna Leela is the flavoring of camphor, and when you mix them together, oh, it is so sweet. So from Krishna Leela, you can connect it to Gaura Leela, and from Gaura Leela, you can connect it back to Krishna Leela. So in the section that we were given, you can see Mahaprabhu with his associates is jumping into Narendra Sarovar and performing beautiful water sports. And this is Radha and Krishna's Jal Krida. This is Radha and Krishna's Nauka Leela, the boat festival of Radha and Krishna, the Salila Vihar, the water pastimes of Radha and Krishna, which are extremely confidential in Krishna Leela. Now Mahaprabhu is opening the floodgates for the whole world as Gauranga Mahaprabhu and welcoming everyone to enter Narendra Sarovar and jump with his associates and splash the water at their lotus feet and assist in the boat festival pastimes, because through the gate of Gaura Leela, he gives us entrance into the beautiful Jamuna waters, this Salila Vihar, the water pastimes, the boat pastimes of Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govinda Dev, Radha Gopinath. So with this, Krishna fulfills his desires and comes in this world to fulfill all the desires of all conditioned souls in the three worlds. All glory to Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. All glory to all the acharyas in our line. All glory to Srila Prabhupada for introducing us to Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the six Goswamis, and the lotus feet of Shri Shri Gaur Nitai. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha, Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanibhyo, Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you for such a beautiful class. You took us to Krishna Leela, Gaur Leela. It was very beautiful, Prabhu. Very beautiful class. I really loved the point where you said Krishna wants to be on the altar and also he wants to be the devotee. He wants to dance with the devotee, do the garland with them, but he also wants to receive the garland and be there. It was so beautiful. And that is how you connected to today's verses where the Supreme Lord is, as Mahaprabhu, he's also seeing Jagannath. So it was beautiful, Prabhu. Very nice class. Very grateful to you for it. And Prabhuji, do you even have time for question answer sessions?
Sure, Mataji. We can take a few minutes. We can take, yeah.
And
Maybe if the questions can be put in the chat, we can
chat.
quickly take them.
Sure,
Yes,
sure.
Mataji. Yeah.
Devotees, please go ahead and ask your questions in the chat, and Prabhuji will take it. That's okay with you all.
Okay, we'll take one after another. प्रभु जी, आपने बताया था हमें सबसे श्रवण करना चाहिए, तो अगर हम दो लोगों को सुन रहे हैं और एक ही मैटर पर दोनों शिक्षा गुरु के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू अलग होते हैं, तो हमें कैसे डिसीजन लेना चाहिए? So the question is, if we are hearing Hari Katha from different devotees, which definitely we should, and if there's difference of opinion, how should we reconcile? Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavastito Yashastra Vidimutsrujya Vartate Kamakaratah Nasa Siddhim Avapnoti Na Sukham Na Param Gatim. We should see which is more aligned to Shastra and which is also more applicable in our purview of time, place and circumstance. Shastra will say a principle. We should know how to apply that with practicality, with sensitivity, with caution in our life. Next question. कृष्ण से अपनापन कैसे डेवलप होगा? हाउ विल वी डेवलप अफेक्शन फॉर श्री कृष्णा? बाय हियरिंग अबाउट हिम. श्रुत्वा गुणान भुवन सुंदर शृण्वतांते निर्विश्य कर्ण विवरै हरतोंगतापम. Rukmini Devi heard about Krishna and she developed proximity. Next question, how to make our spiritual strength very, very strong, and how a guru come in our life or initiate us, because guru is like the cloud, he comes on his own accord. So two questions here. First, how to make our spiritual strength very strong? By Shravan, Kirtan and Smaran. These are limbs of bhakti. Shravana, Kirtana, Smarana, Vandana, Pada Sevana, Dasyare, Pujana, Sakhijana, Atma Nivedana, Govinda Das, Abhilashare. The more we read Shastra, the more we hear Hari Katha, the more we chant the holy name. Utsahad, Nishchayad, Dhairyat, Tattat Karma Pravartanat, Sangatyaga, Sato Vritte, Sadbir Bhakti Prasidhyati. Rupa Goswami Pad has said 6 things that should be done and 6 things that should not be done. If we follow them properly and engage in bhakti, hearing about Krishna, chanting about Krishna, reading about Krishna, performing Ekadashi Vrat, circumambulating Tulsi, keeping away from the wrongdoings. We have to keep away from negativity. Otherwise, those are like the holes in the pot, and how much ever nectar we collect, they will all be seeped out. So that's the response to the first question. Second, how does Guru come in our life? Prayer. First of all, we should read Prabhupada's books to know what are the characteristics of a proper Guru, because otherwise we will be confused. Any person saying anything, we think, oh, he's my Guru. But according to Shastrik Praman, we should see how the qualities of a Guru should be. Tasmat gurum prapadyeta jidnyasu shrayam uttamam shabde parecha nishnatam brahmani upasamashrayam. Guru should be someone who is like an encyclopedia. Any question you ask, they should be able to uproot all your doubts with Shastrik Praman. One. And second, not just theoretical, they should be completely realized and experienced. They should be practicing bhakti and have very high level realization about Krishna. Guru is not a joke. So first of all, we should know those characteristics, and second, we should pray sincerely to Krishna. And Guru is always selected through the ear, not through the eye, not by external characteristics. We should hear Hari Katha, and by whose Hari Katha Krishna Seva Vasana develops in the heart, the desire that I want to serve Krishna, by whose Hari Katha material life becomes distasteful, spiritual life becomes completely full of juice, and who also gives us direction on how to go from where we are to where we want to go. Such a person is Guru. And we should sincerely pray and select through the ear and not select Guru on sentiment. One time one man came to Srila Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, I want to take Diksha from you. Prabhupada said, I have never seen you in the programs. He said, no, this is my second program. I want you as my Guru. Prabhupada said, today if you select me on sentiment, tomorrow you will leave me on sentiment. So accepting the lotus feet of Guru is a matter of great caution and gravity. Next question, Prabhu. One of my friends are non-devotees and one of them is Muslim. What should I do? Should I leave them? But they are good friends of mine. I'll let you decide what you should be doing. But the principle in Shastra is Asat Sanga Tyag E Vaishnava Achar Stri Sangi Ek Asadu Krishna Abhakta Ar. Jar Mukhe Bhai Hari Katha Nai Tar Kache Tumi Jao Na. Jar Mukha Dekhi Bhuli Jave Hari Tar Mukha Pan Tumi Korona. By looking at whose face you forget Krishna, or from whose mouth Krishna Katha doesn't come, Shastra says don't go there. Nishkinchanasya Bhagavad Bhajanonmukhasya Param Param Jigamishor Bhavasagarasya Samdarshanam Vishayinam Atha Yoshitanam Ha Hanta Hanta Vishabhakshana Topya Sadhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that if you really want to attain Krishna, then you have to watch what kind of association you have. If the association is lusty, and if the association is materially stimulating in non-devotee association, then better to respect them from a distance. Next question is, I break my celibacy due to intense urge. Please help. Karmana manasa vacha sarvavastasu sarvada sarvatra maituna tyago brahmacharya prachakshate. If we really want to attain Krishna, then jibhara lalasa e iti uti dhoy shishna udara parayana Krishna nahi paye. If someone has desire, too much desire, lusty desire, or desire to gratify the tongue or the belly or the genital, then one will not attain Krishna. This is a fact. We have to decide what to do. First of all, we have to make a resolve that I will not break my principle of brahmacharya. One should be very fixed on that principle. Dharma aviruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. If there is the opportunity to bring a Krishna conscious child in this world, then it is described that Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, then even offering lust as at the lotus feet of Krishna is considered to be bhakti. Kama Krishna sevarpane krodha bhakta dveshi jane lobha sadhu sange hari katha. Sri Narottam Das Thakur Mahashaya in Sri Prem Bhakti Chandrika, he says, male and female union within the bonds of marriage for bringing a Krishna conscious child in this world, that is not considered to be break of brahmacharya. That is not considered to be a lusty indulgence. That is considered to be as glorious as Krishna. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, I am that lust which is in line with Shastra, which is within the codes of marriage, and which is not for recreation but for procreation, for bringing in a very Krishna conscious child in this world. But apart from that, if one stimulates one's senses, then one will get into a downward spiral of guilt, remorse, lamentation, and tamogun, and one's energy is lost, one's zeal to perform bhakti is lost, and you'll see so much negativity comes in the body. There's loss of blood according to Ayurveda. There's also increase in acidity. One also loses the spirit to perform anything enthusiastic, even from a material standpoint. What to speak of attaining Krishna? Even becoming successful in this world is not possible if one is stimulating and breaking the principle of celibacy. Therefore, even Rupa Goswami Pad, he mentions that jivha, udara and upastavegam. It is very important that one practices brahmacharya and doesn't stimulate one's tongue with quality of food, belly with the quantity of food, and genital with sexual indulgence. So first is awareness and honesty that this is where I am. And second thing is to understand that if you really love yourself, then celibacy or brahmacharya is the best thing to practice. Because Krishna gives us strength. Why not give all that strength back to him? Why indulge in and distribute that in this world? Give everything. Give Krishna all that we got. Every drop of blood, sweat, tears, everything that we can give Krishna, we will give him. Why give anybody else? And at the same time, you can see that those who break this principle of brahmacharya, they are miserable. It's like running behind a mirage in a desert. Mrg Tishna. When someone runs behind an illusory mirage in a desert, thinking that it's water, the more you run, the mirage moves away from you, and there's no quenching of thirst. Those sadhus who practice brahmacharya, you can see that they become so powerful. Sa tarati, sa lokantarayati. They not just save themselves from the cycle of birth and death, they have the power to uplift the whole world. Brahmacharya is very powerful. Our bones, our joints, everything become weak. Little by little, the more one indulges in lusty impulses, one becomes very weak. And the biggest attack is to the mind. Because this is such that the more one indulges, the more one is convinced that there is joy in this world. But the more one refrains from this enjoyment and practices brahmacharya, the more one finds satisfaction, one finds peace, one finds contentment in the heart, and one will be convinced that there is no joy in this world, there is joy in that world. I'll give a little example and then we'll move to the next question. In the villages, traditionally, when, of course, there are so many snakes, many of them are poisonous or venomous, many are not. So how do you get to know which snake is venomous and which is not? If there is a snake bite and you start giving the person who has been bitten by the snake, if you start giving him neem leaves are very bitter. If he starts finding those neem leaves to be very sweet and he starts eating a lot of them, that means poison is spreading in the bloodstream. Because the nature of poison is such that it starts making one feel that neem leaves are extremely sweet. And one wants to overindulge. But now, when another poison is injected in the body and the second poison offsets the first poison and kicks the first poison out, then how do you get to know that the second poison is working and the bloodstream is getting purified of the first poison? The person who is eating the neem leaves will slowly start spitting the neem leaves out. And he will say, oh, this is very bitter. That's how the doctor would traditionally know that, oh, the effect of poison is coming down. So this is the point that we are mentioning in the context of our discussion, that the more one is bitten by the snake of Maya and the poison of lust goes through the body, then what happens? The more one finds sweetness in the bitter leaves of this world. One starts seeing every woman like that. Instead of having any proper etiquette, oh, this is somebody's mother, oh, this is somebody's daughter, oh, this is somebody's sister. Instead of having that proper discretion of etiquette and culture, the poison has spread so much that one starts finding every possible leaf to be sweet. Every prospect to be sweet. Neem leaf, why are we saying? Because breaking dharma and seeing somebody's mother, sister or daughter to be a point of personal enjoyment, that's disgusting. That is like neem leaf. And one finds that to be very sweet because the poison of lust has spread all over. The more one refrains, injects another poison in the body called Krishna Bhakti and refrains from indulging in the future, then we will see the effect of the lusty tendency will come down and the person will start spitting the neem leaves out. Yen maithunadi grihamedi sukham hi tucham, says Prahlad Maharaj. Yadavadi mama chet Krishna padaravindam nava rasadhamyan yudhyatam rantumasit. Yamunacharya says, the more and more I taste the nectar from the lotus feet of Krishna, sexual desire in this world becomes disgusting. It becomes distasteful. There is, because of indulgence for lifetimes, there is a mentality in the mind, oh, there is some joy. But the more one indulges, and so many times people have indulged, and still they are dissatisfied, which means they are in the wrong direction. And Krishna Bhakti is so wonderful. Even little indulgence in Krishna Bhakti gives so much joy. Real joy. And long-lasting joy. Sexual joy, how much can you enjoy? But Krishna Katha and Krishna Kirtan, Even if 3 hours of Harikatha, 3 hours of Kirtan, one is sweating, one is so tired, still one feels, oh, when is the next program? Right? It nourishes the soul. It nourishes the soul. So one has to wake up. And also, the final part of our discussion is to know what are the stimulating agents which induce that thought. If it is text messages, if it is reading a dirty novel, or if it is watching something, a movie which is instigating, or watching something online, or a billboard, or a magazine, or solitude and loneliness in the house without anyone, we have to see what is the stimulating factor. And we should exercise, go out, go for a walk, go for a run, and try to exhaust our energy in good ways. Otherwise, the energy will go down the drain. Okay, enough said. Next question. Sometimes I feel I am chasing devotion externally more than actually experiencing it within my heart. In challenging situations, I still struggle to remain humble and calm. Kindly guide me on how to develop genuine steadiness and humility in my practice. I wish I could have it so that I can tell you how to develop it. But one thing that can be said is we should have some patience. Utsahat, Nishchayat and Dhairyat. Bhakti takes time. It's not that today we hold a bead bag and tomorrow we become Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avidya Vinasha Jati. It doesn't happen like that. It takes time. A child is born in 9 months. A flower blossoms slowly. Fruit develops taste slowly. Sun rises slowly. The moon rises slowly. Everything beautiful takes time. Everything beautiful takes time. So we should have some patience. We should have confidence in the path that this is working. We should have enthusiasm every single day. And yet at the same time, we should have patience with others and with ourselves. ऐसा नहीं कि एक दिन स्कूल चले गए तो कल graduation हो गया. It doesn't happen like that. Similarly, we are all in a hospital. We are all having increasing levels of symptoms. It's not that today we take a medicine and tomorrow we are hale and hearty. No, it takes time. For the symptoms to go down, it takes time. So, having a good doctor, having proper prescription, following it in proper dosage and quantity and frequency, and having patience with proper diet nurses us back to health. So, the association of devotees is like a hospital. All of us are diseased, and therefore we should have compassion on ourselves and compassion on others. We shouldn't over expect something from ourselves and over expect something from others. When we see faults in ourselves and faults in others, we should say everyone is on that onward journey of recovery. We should have a good doctor in the form of Srila Prabhupada. Proper prescription. What to do, what not to do. Anukulyasya sankalpa, pratikulyasya varchanam. We should have proper dosage and proper frequency of Hare Krishna Mahamantra medicine. And at the same time, proper diet of hearing and reading. And at the same time, have some patience. It takes some time. And as far as humility is concerned, association of devotees and serving the devotees humbly. This is very important. Sadhana fructifies with seva. Reading is important, hearing is important, chanting is important, but most important is seva. Extending ourselves and humbling ourselves, and it could be any service. It could be washing dishes, it could be cleaning, mopping the room, it could be WhatsApp coordination between groups, it could be driving to the airport, picking devotees. The heart should be thinking, Krishna, I want to serve the devotees so that my service attitude develops. Bhakti is not devotion. Bhakti is devotional service. Devotion in action. So we want to hear, read, chant and serve. By service, automatically one develops more experience. We will take 2 more questions in the interest of time. Next question, how can I receive mercy of Sri Radharani? By chanting the names of Krishna, by worshipping Krishna, by praying to Krishna and speaking to others about Krishna. The more you speak to others about Krishna, the more mercy of Sri Radharani develops in the heart. Final question, it is said in Shastra, to remain awake during Nirjala Ekadashi, is it necessary or without remaining awake we get the fruit of Nirjala Ekadashi? Prabhuji, and if we keep Hari Katha Kirtan during Purushottam Mas at home, do we go to Goloka Vrindavan? 2 questions. Is it necessary to be awake on Nirjala Ekadashi or any Ekadashi? If you see in Shastra, the recommendation for Ekadashi is very high. Shastra says on Dashami and on Dwadashi eat once a day. And on Ekadashi keep full fast and chant the holy name and be awake all night. This is the recommendation in Shastra. So now we have to follow according to our conditions. If next day you have to go to work, you have to go to school, if your chanting gets affected, you become groggy, you're sleepy all day, you become agitated, then practice Ekadashi and at the right time go to sleep so that next day you can wake up on Brahma Muhurta of Dwadashi and you can chant. And if you feel hungry, you don't have to put yourself through Nirjal Vrat, because if you have Pitta Prakriti, you cannot do that. So then you have to drink water. If you still can't do it, then you have proper fruits. If you still can't do it, then you see. Whether it is Nirjal or Sajal or Safal, you see how to take it one step after another. Okay, we'll take one last. Regarding the Purushottam Mass at home, if you do Hari Katha and Hari Kirtan, do we go to Goloka Vrindavan? We will go to Goloka Vrindavan when love develops in the heart. It is not by a checklist of if I do this, if I don't do this. We are doing everything to practice so that bhakti rises in the heart. When lovingly we remember Krishna, then we will go back to Goloka Vrindavan. It is not an algorithm that if I do this, if I do this, if I do this, then I will do this. It's not a if-else-if loop on C++ that aise aise kar liya, so then you run the loop and then else rebirth. It doesn't go like that. We have to develop bhakti for Krishna. We have to develop absorption. We have to develop intense greed and hankering for Krishna. And it takes time, and it happens through Hari Katha, Hari Kirtan and Vaishnav Seva. Prabhu kahe Vaishnav Seva naam sankirtan, dui karo shigra pabe Krishnera charan. Achirata pabe tumi Krishnera charan. Very quickly, Mahaprabhu doesn't say this life, but very soon, by hearing from Vaishnavas, serving them and chanting, very soon we will attain Krishna. So no problem. We are not waiting and dying to go to Goloka Vrindavan. We are in the process of genuinely developing bhakti in our heart. Everything else will follow. So with that, we will pause here. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanibhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Once again, thank you Chinmayi Mataji, thank you Kirtida Sundari Mataji, and thank you Priti Vilasini Mataji for engaging the servant of yours in the service of Vaishnavas at Bhakti Sangha. Thank you.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhu. Beautiful class. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Pranam,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna
Thank you so
Prabhuji,
much,
Dandavat
Prabhuji.
Pranam. Such a wonderful
Pranam,
class.
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Koti
Thank you,
Koti
Prabhu.
Pranam.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the class.
Sir, all the
Krishna
blessings to you.
Prabhupada Jai.
Krishna,
Dandavat
Dandavat
Pranam,
Pranam.
Prabhuji. Hare
And
Krishna.
Hare
thank
Krishna.
you.
Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
myself.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Hare
Pavan
Krishna.
Srila
Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhupada
Dandavat
ki
Pranam.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Bol.
Prabhuji. Thank you so much.